Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be joining you for this brief final section of our training presentation. My name is Noah Chalfin. I prefer he and him pronouns, and I'm a counselor at Counseling Services. I will be picking up where Dr. Robbins left off. So after we see something and say something, the next step is to do something and connect the student in crisis to the appropriate resources. If a student is not in a crisis situation, it is completely reasonable to recommend that they check out Counseling Services by referring them to our website, having them give us a phone call, or dropping by during our open hours. When their symptoms look and sound more like distress than a crisis, know that this is a perfectly appropriate response. However, if a student is reporting a significant crisis, such as they are having suicidal or homicidal thoughts, have shared they recently experienced a significant trauma, or are saying they need immediate help, then here are some of the resources to consider, starting with some of the on-campus resources. Call the Cal Poly Police Department or 911 if you are afraid to leave the student alone, or if they are making threats against themselves or others. This can feel like you're getting them in trouble, but you are in reality possibly saving their lives and putting theirs and others' well-being first over any uncomfortable feelings you may be having. Officers are trained to respond to all forms of emergency situations, including mental health emergencies. They are also able to conduct wellness checks if someone is concerned about a student's safety. This is always the appropriate first call to make if there is concern about the immediate safety of a student. Next, you can bring the student to Cal Poly Counseling Services during our open hours and support the student to let our front desk staff know they are in crisis. We offer same-day appointments for students in exactly this type of situation. So if you don't think there is immediate danger, but feel the student needs to be seen as soon as possible, calling us or coming into our office is a good option. In addition to our regular business hours, our phone line offers a 24/7 emergency crisis line. There are trained mental health responders who answer these calls after hours, and they can contact other emergency responders as needed. This is also a useful resource as you can call on behalf of the student and receive guidance and support about what to do next. Lastly, the Dean of Students Office. A lot of times students are not in critical enough of a situation to be hospitalized, but still need some help navigating the campus or community systems. The Dean of Students offers a wide array of services and resources, such as providing assistance to students, parents, and staff members with issues ranging from health and wellness, threatening or disruptive behavior, hazing, or other safety issues. They can help students and families navigate leaves of absence as well. They also coordinate the Cal Poly Cares program, which can provide financial and other resource support to students with demonstrated need. Off campus, similar to Counseling Services after hours line, the SLOW hotline is another telephone-based mental health crisis support resource. If the student agrees, you or someone else can take them directly to an emergency room, such as at French Hospital or Sierra Vista, to be evaluated by the medical staff, which can decide if the student needs further evaluation or stabilization. You can also call the Crisis Stabilization Unit in SLOW about availability. This program requires that a student is medically cleared by an emergency room, but then students can voluntarily stay there while managing concerns around safety. The staff is friendly, they've got great snacks, and there are about 10 day beds in the unit, so it's not usually an overwhelming amount of people there. In addition to actual mental health crisis services, we want to talk a little more about the resources available to support students who may be experiencing mental health distress, though do not require immediate or emergency services intervention. So for those students not experiencing a full-blown crisis, here are some of the Cal Poly resources to support mental health and well-being. Campus well-being supports students with connecting the different life elements of social, community, career, financial, physical, and emotional well-being to achieve and maintain life balance, the ability to be resilient, and achieve their full potential. They are located on the bottom floor of the health center, and you can make an appointment by calling or stopping by. Counseling Services. We'll talk more about Counseling Services in a moment, but we are a confidential resource where students can connect with mental health professionals. Resident advisors and CSDs in housing are trained and knowledgeable about the resources on campus and are eager to offer support. Academic advisors are a great resource and support around issues related to academics and majors. As discussed during the previous slide, the Dean of Students Office supports students in a wide variety of ways, and they care deeply about student well-being. SAFER is another confidential resource students can access if they or someone they know have experienced sexual assault, stalking, or other dating-related violence or harassment. The advocates there walk students through their options and support them as needed. SAFER can also be a great resource for parents and other student supporters, such as yourselves. As previously discussed, if you're afraid for your own or a friend's well-being, you can call the university police. It may feel strange to consider them a mental health resource, but the police at Cal Poly are specially trained as first responders for a wide range of issues, and your safety matters to them. They can always help connect students with appropriate resources after safety has been established. Additionally, students can always contact their spiritual advisor if they have one, whether it's on or off campus, or members of their club or community organization. I'm now going to talk a little more about counseling services. First of all, our services are always free to Cal Poly enrolled students. Our services are always confidential, and all of our counselors are extensively trained to ensure that private and confidential information is always protected and in compliance with all state, university, and counseling services policies and law. In regards to the services we offer, we provide same-day walk-in appointments for students in crisis or experiencing significant distress. These walk-in appointments are typically provided within an hour, depending on the timing during our open business hours and clinician availability. Our telephone line also provides access to crisis counseling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are committed to ensuring that if a student needs to be seen and wants to be seen, they will be seen as soon as possible. We also offer initial consultation appointments, which students can schedule for future days over the phone or in person. Due to potential safety issues, we do not currently offer online scheduling for appointments. Throughout each quarter, we provide a series of emotional well-being workshops, which consist of unique workshops, each of which is broken up into 3 sessions, provided once per week of 50 minutes each. These workshops are based in cognitive behavioral therapy, psychoeducation, dialectical behavior therapy, mindfulness, and emotion-focused therapy approaches. The workshops we typically offer include the Anxiety Toolbox, Getting Unstuck, Rio, Bridge, and Seeking Serenity. We also offer a variety of group therapy options each quarter. We are regularly updating and adding new groups, but some of our groups include Be Body Positive, Better Decisions, Connecting with Self and Others, Survivors of Trauma, Graduate Student Support Group, Transfer Student Support Group, Grief Group, LGBTQIA Group, Mindful Living, Work in Progress, and Yoga Therapy Group. More information about all of our group offerings can be found on our website. We also provide couples therapy for relationships comprised of all Cal Poly students. And during the second half of each quarter, we run a series of workshops entitled End of Quarter Workshops. These are one-time 50-minute sessions that focus on teaching skills around stress and time management. Students can sign up for these online and do not need to complete an initial consultation to attend. If short-term individual therapy is the recommendation, students will meet with a therapist a few times to work on the issues bringing them into therapy. Typically, if longer-term therapy is needed, referrals will be made to the community and the therapist will help the student find a provider and assist them with using health insurance to pay for these services. Next, I'm going to spend a few minutes answering some of the frequently asked questions we receive at counseling services. How many counseling sessions are students allowed to receive each year? So unlike many other college campuses, there is no set number of counseling sessions available to each student. Similarly, there is no set number of workshops or groups in which students can participate. Treatment plans are individualized and are developed in a collaborative process between a student and their intake counselor. Counseling services providers, who are psychologists, LMFTs, and licensed professional clinical counselors, do not prescribe medication. However, health services has a psychiatrist on staff that can prescribe mental health related medications. Additionally, most medical providers in health services can prescribe medications for mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety. But your counseling services therapist can support you with recommendations or referrals and discuss medication options with you. Why might my counselor recommend a workshop or group instead of individual one-on-one counseling? So research suggests that active engagement in therapeutic groups or skill-building workshops can be even more effective and efficient than one-on-one counseling. As previously noted, treatment plans are developed collaboratively between counselor and student, and depending on the student's presenting concerns or mental health issues, then a workshop or group may represent the best treatment option to address a student's needs. The truth is that workshops and groups are therapy, and counselors will always recommend the best service options available for each student. So if you are interested in regular ongoing counseling and would like to use health insurance to see someone off campus, how can we help? Well, each counselor is trained to assist students with exactly this process of accessing community providers. Additionally, students can receive ongoing support with this process from a member of the early intervention specialist team as needed. So how long do students typically need to wait for an appointment at counseling services? So students seeking first appointments, which we call initial consultations, may have to wait anywhere from 1 to 7 days. There is no waiting list, and appointments are scheduled on a first come, first served basis. Our front desk staff will walk a student through the process and their options if no appointments are available at the time they call or walk into counseling services. As previously discussed, any student who is experiencing significant distress or potentially dangerous symptoms can walk in during our open hours and will likely be seen for a same-day appointment. So how does counseling services handle requests for documentation? So we regularly help students with Disability Resource Center accommodations as well as academic petitions. The only caveat to this is that an ongoing relationship between a student and their counselor provides the basis for making accurate professional judgments and recommendations. So what this means is that we are typically unable to provide this type of documentation based on a single appointment, as a more thorough assessment of mental health symptoms and functional limitations is required to provide diagnostic or accommodation recommendations. If you have additional questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call or send us an email. We're always happy to clarify our policies and provide any information about our services. Next, I'm going to briefly summarize our current status amidst the coronavirus. So we remain open and are absolutely committed to supporting student mental health while adjusting our operations as a result of the current global pandemic. Out of an abundance of caution and care, we are currently offering all of our services remotely by phone and Zoom. So please give us a call at 805-756-2511 to schedule an appointment or learn more about our current services, as these may be changing day to day. And of course, for more information and updates, please visit our website or the Cal Poly coronavirus website. So in review, between Dr. Colwell, Dr. Robbins, and myself, we've covered a lot today. So let's review a few key things to remember. Stress can impact you and all students in a variety of ways. It is important to try and identify our stress signals when they occur and respond to them with self-compassion. Practicing self-care helps us manage stress, and there are many different types of self-care to try. Sometimes the stress becomes too much or is actually more than stress for you or another student. It can be very helpful to remember that if you are experiencing mental health distress, you are not alone. And finally, there are many resources on campus and in the SLO community to help you and other Cal Poly students. Thank you very much for your time, and please don't hesitate to reach out to counseling services for any questions you have or support you might need.